What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily, September 23rd, 2022. It is a Friday, and we've got the Haltermans here with us. Hopefully, we'll get Magic back soon for some more CFL action. But before we jump into that, let's talk a little bit about last night's football game. Wild finish. I feel bad for anyone who had the under a little earlier in the week. I feel bad for anyone who had teasers to the Steelers there with that fumble six that closes out the game. First off, Papa Dude, what'd you think of this game? I thought the first half was interesting. Coaches definitely decided to open it up to try and trick the opposing defenses. It worked decently well.
Well, I think it was a huge win for Cleveland. You know, they should be 3-0. I think that loss to the Jets is going to come back and haunt them down the road because, you know, they're trying to get through these first 11 games until they get Watson back. And I looked at their schedule a while ago. And it's not as easy as you would think. And it sure looked a lot better if they were 3-0 than 2-1. Now, let me go through this. They should win next week. They're at Atlanta. So if they'd have got that game with the Jets and they go to Atlanta, they'd be 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you got to think, it's not going to take very many wins in that division to win it or in that conference. I think 9 might win that conference, maybe 9 or 10, you know? Certainly no more than 10. So let's say they already had 4, but they don't. So let's say they win next week. That's 3. Then you got the wishy-washy Chargers coming into Cleveland. Who the hell knows about what that would be? That's winnable. New England's winnable. Then you got to go to Baltimore. You got to figure they may not win that one. Then here come the Bengals. What are the Bengals going to be by the time they get to Cleveland, right? But then you've got a gauntlet. You got to go to Miami, Buffalo, Tampa Bay. I don't see them winning much there. Maybe they might get lucky and beat Tampa in Cleveland. Who knows? But had they won that game with the Jets, you got to figure those first 11. If you can go 5-6, 6-5 without Watson, you got a shot. So they're going to be interesting to watch. They run the ball very, very well. You know, Chubb's as good as there is. Really, he is really good. And Kareem Hunt is. You know, Kareem Hunt was hurt last year too, and they missed him a lot. He is a good back. So that was a good win for them.
Yeah, he's a great change of pace for Chubb there. I was pissed that Chubb vultured that touchdown after Kareem Hunt gets 3 shotgun runs, and then we go eye for him with Chubb. You're killing me. Come on, just one eye for him run with Hunt, and that thing was over. But no, we don't want to do that. Not going to help a brother out here. I got to give Aaron props. Crushed it on the college side. We got Rob coming here. How about them Chokies? Aaron talked about how he liked West Virginia last night and nailed the handicap as well. West Virginia just simply outscored Virginia Tech. They could not move the football. And then Coastal Carolina, fun game. Unfortunately, McCall goes down. I have not heard the status on him there late. Aaron, what do you think of last night's 2 college games?
Well, good news on McCall. He is going to be okay. I think he's going to play next week. Probably could have went in the fourth quarter, too far ahead. They just kind of held him out. So there's good news there. If you watch that game, you knew what I was talking about yesterday. This Grayson McCall is a stud, and he would be a household name if he was with a bigger conference. I enjoyed that game, obviously. Just a really solid win there. That's how a best bet is supposed to win, right?
Yeah.
So that was nice. The West Virginia thing, you know, you talked about it. Going there used to be tough. Used to be really tough to win at Virginia Tech. When you don't got players, it makes it easier. And that's what it is. They don't have any skill guys. You know, they've got the defense still that, you know, but they just don't have any skill position players. And at the end of the day, they kept it close, but they couldn't just keep stopping West Virginia and over again because West Virginia's got a little bit of offense and it got a decent quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of how that game went. And luckily, like I said, I was right on a couple of them. So I'll take it and go on to the next.
And we got a couple more college games coming at you tonight. Papa Dude is going to take one of those for his best bets. We also had a couple horse racing bets today. Aaron and I both going to the racetrack, going to Churchill and Aqueduct, so getting back at it. Lori, thank you very much. We had a successful halftime show yesterday. The Cleveland -3 second half and the under 19.5, or 20, depending on when you got it. The 19 pushed because of that touchdown. 19.5 and 20 both won, and obviously Cleveland covered in the second half pretty well. And that second half was more of what we expected, Aaron, than that first half, when you had just kind of the ball possession, specifically from the Browns, keeping that Steelers defense on the field. And Pittsburgh's offensive line started to wear down a little bit toward the end as well.
Honestly, dude, like I watch Pop Dude's right. I watch Nick Chubb and it's like, damn, it's a shame he's in Cleveland. This guy is a superstar. And I think he kind of gets ignored by the national media because he's in Cleveland. But this guy's a stud. And they are unbelievable. With Baker, and he was terrible last year, they could run it. They've always been able to run it. And I don't think it's any secret. It's because Nick Chubb is elite and Kareem Hunt is elite. And so they can always, you can always count on them to move it because of those two backs. It was, listen, Najee Harris, Slim, what a terrible break he got. Got all his yards in the first half, did nothing in the second.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That was brutal. Last night kind of was rough for the best bets. I mean, I take the under 19 in the first half, and it's an air show. And then the second half is exactly what we expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Slim Najee breaks 2 8-yarders, which is tough when he's averaging 2.8 yards, and all of a sudden he gets so close to being over and then shuts it down, ends up only going 2 over. So a couple just brutal losses there. I think the cap was right and the result was wrong. Real quick, before we jump into our segment of what game we like the most this weekend, Papa Dude, quick answer.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Bills 1, Chiefs 2, or you can flip those if you want. Chargers 3. Where do the Browns fit when they get Watson back? Are they in that top 3? Or are they sitting behind those 3?
Oh, they're in that. They're behind. I don't think they're dynamic enough to be with those guys. I don't know about the Chargers at 3. They should be, no doubt about it. But after what we've seen right now, you got to go Chiefs and Bills for sure. I mean, Buffalo just looks fantastic, don't they? They've got it all.
We'll talk about them in a second. Don't you worry, Papa Dude. Yeah. I'm sure that's going to be at least one of our game of the week. Aaron, Browns, do they fit in this top 2 when they get Watson back?
No.
All right. I agree. I would tend to put them in that Chargers 3-4 range. I think there's a pretty decent gap there. All right. Papa Dude, game of the weekend. What are you looking forward to most, college or pros, one game this weekend?
Well, there's a couple. I'm intrigued by the Arkansas-Texas A&M game. That's what you're going to do? Okay, Aaron, I'll do another. All right. Let me think. I had zeroed in on that one, but I'll let you have that one, Aaron. There's a game, and I really don't want to talk about it much because it may be my best bet tomorrow. It's not let me think about another one here because it's not a really big one. Let me go. I think the Clemson-Wake Forest game's kind of interesting tomorrow. We're going to find out a lot about Clemson tomorrow and Wake for that matter too. We're going to find out if Wake can beat a power team, and they never have, and I'm waiting for them to do it before I can really get on their bandwagon. I love Sam Hartman, love watching him play, love their offense. Can they go beat a team like Clemson? And that's the next thing they need to do. So I think that's a game that's really going to be interesting to watch tomorrow. I think until Wake does it, I just can't pick them. But it wouldn't surprise me if they can win. Another one that's kind of not much, but what's Notre Dame going to do at North Carolina tomorrow?
That's an interesting game.
That's an interesting game. How would you pick against them? That's hard to do, Yeah. But they have no offense.
I kind of like North Carolina. It's the same. Like honestly, it's the same with the Wake game. If North Carolina's offense scores, if Wake's offense scores, Clemson and Notre Dame are in trouble because they're not as dynamic offensively as those two teams, and so
they can't get in a shootout. That's for sure.
They can't exactly. They cannot win a shootout. They need to keep that game low scoring. I wouldn't be shocked if North Carolina upsets Notre Dame. This is a rough season for the Golden Domers.
Yeah, I agree.
Bad.
Aaron, one game you like this weekend?
Listen, he tried to steal it. I said, don't do it. I am pumped for Texas A&M Arkansas. Listen, it's always a great game every year, no matter how the teams are doing going into the game. Some awful Arkansas teams has went down to Dallas. They played at Jerry World, went down to Dallas and almost beat A&M. This year, Arkansas looks damn good. A&M, I think they're kind of shaky. This is a massive game for both teams. If A&M wins here and kind of start to right the ship, get going a little bit, if Arkansas wins here, they're 4-0 and hosting Alabama next weekend. It's going to be massive. This place is going to be rocking. So I think it's a huge game. I think it'd be a great game. 6:00. Going to be fun. I'm really excited for Arkansas A&M.
Sounds like I'm rooting for Arkansas, so I get a nice Bama first half next week. Now, look, I'm going to be a homer. I'm looking forward to Miami Buffalo.
Sure.
Miami finally be able to turn the tide here. Buffalo has absolutely had their number, but now with Mike McDaniel in there, new offensive coordinator, Tyreek Hill, more speed, are they going to be able to deal some blows to this Buffalo secondary that is banged up. Hoyer's not playing. Both number 1 and 2 corners are both out. You have 2 rookie corners starting. It's Tyreek Hill and Waddle and the starting safety out. Miami has to put points up. Additionally, love the gamesmanship. Miami is forcing Buffalo to wear their dark blue jerseys on short rest in the Florida sun for a 1 p.m. start time. So you've got short rest Buffalo wearing the blues, coming in on the sideline with the sun in high humidity in Florida with 3 defensive backs out. If not now, when? That is, this is the time. And I love the over, by the way, in that game now. You have 3 defensive backs out there. Miami's been absolutely shredded by Buffalo. Like, as a Miami fan, let me tell you, we cannot stop Josh Allen. We also are missing or Xavier Howard has looked awful. We've decided to be blitz happy this year. Guess what? Buffalo puts points up against the blitz. This could be an old-fashioned shootout, just like last weekend was an old-fashioned shootout down in Miami. So I'm excited to see what the Dolphins can do and whether or not this team is actually legitimately for real, because you win this game if you're an actual contender in the league.
I love this game. I'm with Lori. I'm with the Dolphins. Come on, Dolphins. Get it done. It'd be exciting to see them win. Look, I think everybody knows the Bills are looking like them and the Chiefs are the 2 best right now, like you said. But if the Dolphins, it's almost like you said, if not now, win. If they can pull off this win, boy, this would be huge for them. So it's going to be great. I can't wait for that game.
I got to ask Nick a question because he's our line. He follows all this stuff much more than we do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the Chiefs line going down to 5.5? Maybe it's come back up this morning. It was 5.5 yesterday. It opened at like 6.5, 7. What do you think about that?
A little bit surprised. The look ahead was closer to 4.5, so I'm not surprised that it came down off the 7. I didn't think we were going to go over that key number of 7. To me, this is a game where you have to think, well, the Colts generally suck in Jacksonville. So I'm not shocked at the result we saw last week. They were affected by the heat down there, and they usually play poorly down there. This is one of those spots where you absolutely have to get right. And since 2012, teams that are 0-2 facing teams that have a win or 2 wins in week 3 are 60% against the spread. So there's a big-time metric pointing toward teams that are desperate and have to get a W coming into here. So winless teams against teams with wins, week 3, 60% against the spread since 2012. So you're seeing multiple teams take money. Atlanta taking money against Seattle. You're seeing the Colts take money against the Chiefs that all fit into that specific handicap, that specific trend. So I think that's one of the reasons it's moving. I think one of the forgotten aspects of this is the Colts defensive coordinator is Gus Bradley. Gus Bradley came from the Las Vegas Raiders, who Patrick Mahomes absolutely diced up the last 2 years. And he is running the same defense in Indy that he ran in Las Vegas. So the Chiefs know this defense well and know how to beat it. So I think the Chiefs are going to get theirs. And the question is whether or not they can stop the run on Sunday.
Okay.
Well,
I knew I'd get my answer.
I think the Chiefs still look good, despite everything you said there.
I like the Chiefs team total.
Mike's leaning toward him, right, Mike?
Yeah, I would play Chiefs if I'm going to play that game. I probably am going to pass. I may play Chiefs team total over. I do like Mahomes over 2.5 touchdowns if you can find it anywhere near a plus number, because I think that they're going to score through the air in that game, not through the ground. Darius Leonard, Shaq Leonard, is a key of whether or not he's in the game. He missed the first 2 weeks. He's trending toward trying to play. If he plays, Chiefs won't be able to run. You got to expect Mahomes to go through the air, and that's when that Mahomes passing touchdowns makes a lot more sense.
Yep.
All right, let's jump into the best bets for the day here. We'll kick it off with Papa Dude. Take us to the world of college football. I like this one, Papa Dude. Tell us why you do.
Well, I remember 3 weeks ago, Aaron said, I'm going to quit betting stuff and bet what I know, which is horse racing. Okay, well, I'm getting out of baseball today because the game last night I picked went exactly like I thought it would. There was just one problem. Houston lost. Verlander was great, but golly, that kid from Baltimore pitched a tremendous game.
Houston got 2 hits last night. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
2 hits.
Yeah. 4 runs to win, and they got 2 hits. That's never
it's unreal. So I'm getting out of there today. Really, there wasn't anything I liked in there either. I'm going to the game tonight. I think that 54 is a little high for this game. There's a couple of things that do worry me, but Syracuse likes to run the ball, and they play slow, so they're going to want to run the clock. Virginia's not shown any offense to speak of at all. The problem is their quarterback is pretty good. He was great last year, Brennan Armstrong. So I don't know what the problem is with him. You know, since I'm going to go ahead and pick the under, he'll probably come out of it tonight. And then last week, Syracuse was gassed for 424 yards from the quarterback from Purdue, but that kid's good. And their offense is pretty good. So I looked, Virginia's averaging 18 points a game. Syracuse has only given up 17.5. Syracuse is averaging 24 a game. Virginia's given up 18. When you add all that up, the under should hit. So I'm banking on the under tonight between Virginia and Syracuse.
Yeah, this is interesting. I think this number got inflated a little bit because of the fourth quarter last week.
Yeah.
There were 42 points scored in the fourth quarter. It was, what was it? I think it was 19 points scored in the first three quarters and 42 in the third to cover a 61 total. So they actually needed all of those points to go over in that game. I think people have that fourth quarter in their mind, not the first three where Syracuse controlled the clock, slowed it down, ran the ball. I would expect them to do the same thing tonight. Wouldn't you, Aaron?
Yes, I'm very intrigued by this game as a college football fan. And look, you got to be a college football fan. A casual is not going to look at Virginia and Syracuse and go, oh, man, got to make plans to watch this one tonight. But for me, I've been looking forward to this one all week. Interesting game. It's interesting line as well. I don't know which way to go on that. It's 10.5 for Syracuse. But you said it. Last week, I followed that game on my phone because they were playing when OU was playing. It was tight. It was low scoring, and all of a sudden they exploded. There were some turnovers in that game that got them to the total. And like you said, they still only got to 61. And now it's 54 against a Virginia team that I don't think is near as good as Purdue offensively. I like the under. I texted you right after you sent it to me. I said, I like that. I think that's good. I think it'll be a slow game. The one worry is the Virginia quarterback. I agree. Brennan Armstrong, pretty good player, but they have not looked good this year. I think it'll be a good game. I think you're on the right side of the bet there.
Yeah, this is the game I'll be watching. This line opened 51, got all the way up to 54.5, and now is dropping. So Papa Dude's in at 54. It's 54 or 53 across the board. The side is now down to 9.5 from 10.5 early this morning. So you're starting to see some Virginia money come in as well, which makes sense. If under money's coming in, that the 10.5 points becomes more valuable. So we'll see what happens heading to kickoff here. All right, let's jump into the world of horse racing. I'll go to my best bet first so Aaron can close down the show here. I'm going to Churchill Downs. I'm going to race number 9. I'm looking forward to hearing Aaron's story about this horse. Give me the 2-horse Knee Deep in Snow. A couple reasons I like this horse. First off, big-time class drop, okay? Last 2 times has faced Jackie's Warrior, okay? That's a tough horse to face when you are sprinting. I like the draw here. There are 2-1 horses, so the 2 ends up on the rail. And I believe is lone speed in this spot when we're dropping back down in class. So I think Knee Deep in Snow goes out, gets the lead from the rail. I think is almost forced to go from this rail position, is able to get the lead, get loose. I love this 4-1 price. It's a difficult race. And this horse has had some funky trips, but I trust 10 Strike Racing when placing horses, and they know what they are doing. And I think if Santana gives this horse the correct ride, which is go to the lead, I don't think anyone's going to challenge him. It's Mucho all the way outside. It's Long Range Toddy that are the other speed in this race, neither of which are as fast as Knee Deep in Snow if he wants the lead. Neither of which will challenge Knee Deep in Snow if he gets the lead. So hopefully the 2 gets out, gets to the turn first, and rolls home at 4-1 for us. Aaron, tell me why I'm crazy.
No, I don't think you're crazy. Listen, this is a really tough race. And so for a best bet show, you're taking a swing here for sure. But Knee Deep in Snow is one of the contenders of this race for sure. There's a lot of horses that look a lot like Knee Deep in Snow where they're just like, oh man, they're so close, or they're right on the cusp of being, not just good, but maybe a little bit better than good. I got a funny story on Knee Deep in Snow. Okay. So when we were doing Oaklawn previews, Magic and I, through the winter, he popped up every time we did a preview. Knee Deep in Snow seemed to be in the race. Every time he entered, we did a preview on it. And he kept getting funky ass trips. And it's just like, oh my God, this horse is so bad. He's got such bad luck. We did cash in on him once in January. Anyway, kind of lost track of him a little bit. And so I was at the track for the Vanderbilt, and he showed up, and he was 22-1. I said, what the hell? Jackie's Warrior, Knee Deep in Snow. I've been following this horse. I'm going to play that exacta. Hit it. Was so happy. Went out that night with Vinny and his wife, and Heather was there, and we went to Sperry's, and it was late at the night. And there were the owners of Knee Deep in Snow. 10 Strike Racing, Marshall Graham. That's how I knew. I've known him for a while. But he's got a couple of partners in this horse as well. Met them. They were over the moon. They were so excited. They claimed this horse second in a Grade 1. And we had a good time, man. Really nice guys, and they were really celebrating. So kind of cool little backstory. When you sent that today, I was like, oh man, I'll mention that because those guys were pumped. I don't think they foresaw an allowance at Churchill being the next start or the second start after that grade 2 or grade 1 second place finish, but here he is. It is a big drop. We'll see what he can do.
Well, it's not a bad spot to end up. It's an N dollars X, so non-winners with a certain amount of money in a year, but 150K purse. I mean, this is like a listed stakes, basically.
Sure.
They claim this horse for 80,000. They've already made their money back. It's a great claim from them. I didn't mention either. The horse loves Churchill. Horse is raced here twice. Broker's maiden over Churchill, ran third. Is it a graded stakes or was it? It was $120,000 stakes. Ran third to your Breeders' Cup Sprint champion, Aloha West in that race. So definitely class drop here. Loves Churchill. Let's get a nice little 4-1 shot home, and I think we'll get every bit of it too.
They were pumped, man. They were like, "We're going to the Breeders' Cup with this horse after that second place finish in the Vanderbilt." It was great.
Let's pump the brakes a little bit on that one.
Well, it was very late, and we were at Saratoga, so
Yeah,
maybe the next morning they weren't saying that. But.
they were knee deep in booze, is what you're saying. All right, let's head over to Aqueduct, Aaron. Give us your best bet here.
That is the great thing about Saratoga, man. It's fun, and you go to places like that, you never know who you're going to meet. So that was a fun night. All right, yeah, my best bet here. We'll get it going. We'll get out of here. I'm going to go Belmont at the Big A, race 4 today, and I'm going to go with the number 3, Excellent Timing. This horse running second off the claim for Rob Atras. Listen, the rail horse beat him last time out, but that was the first race for Atras. It was the first race off a nearly, over, I should say, a year layoff. I think the horse moves forward today. Last time out was 7 furlongs over a muddy track. Now we're getting 6 furlongs over a fast track. I think he's going to get to the front. I love Rob Atras horses that can do that. The horses, there's no doubt, you look at the past performances, has kind of had a speed and fade problem. You know who can fix that better than anybody in the NYRA circuit? Rob Atras. So I'm not going to comment how he does it, but he does. And so I really like this horse. The only other speed is the 2 Foolish Goes, but I like that the 3 has drawn outside. And the cherry on top, Irad Ortiz is aboard. When he's aboard these Atras horses, they run. And so I think Irad will put this horse in a good spot. I think he holds off the rail horse this time out. I love the 7-2 price. I'll take a shot. Number 3, Excellent Timing for me.
Yeah, I read on Atras or I read on Noda. Take note, right? Those when he's riding for one of those two trainers, generally the horse is ready to fire. I agree with you. I love the fact that I read rides back after that race off the layoff. You'd expect a nice step forward here, second off that layoff, like you said. I mean, this horse most likely needed that race.
You would think, and again, you might sit there and go, well, he kind of still speed and fades. Maybe the one will get him again, and it's possible. But you know what? I'll take my chances on this horse second off the layoff, second for Atras, Irad back. And we're going to get a little bit better price on the 3 than the 1. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that 7-2, I think, is a key there as well. I think you're getting the right price to take a little bit of a swing here. All right, let's recap the best bets here before we take off. Brutal Wheat starts the week 1-5-1, so hopefully we can get her going here. Papa Dude going Virginia and Syracuse under 54. Aaron's going to go to Belmont at the Big A, which is actually Aqueduct. Race number 4, horse number 3, 7-2 on the morning line. I'm going to Churchill Downs, race number 9, horse number 2, 4-1 on the morning line. Hopefully we can get some of this back for the year. We're at up $1,888 off a $100 base unit. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget tomorrow, 11 a.m. start time here at Dudes Who Bet Daily, so we can play those noon Eastern football kickoffs. Good luck today, and good luck at the track.